Okay, the fallen angels are supposed to, according to the book of Enoch, after they do all this stuff with the mark of the beast and whatnot, for their punishment, the fallen angels, will have to spend, I think it is 1,000 years, it says, in hellfire. But the only good part about that is it's not an eternity. So apparently they get judged, but they don't get judged as bad as some of the others that have to spend an eternity in some kind of fire. Who knows? It's really awful fire, but so they know they get judged, and that's probably why they're stopping from doing certain things. But these fallen angels also, as far as what I'm assuming is, they've named themselves after the planets. They name themselves, Mars, god of war; Mercury, god of something or another; Hermes or Mercury; Neptune, god of the sea; Uranus, the guy that gets with Gaia. So these fallen angels have all named themselves after planets and different things. You'll notice too, if you look on the chemical table of elements, you'll find that some of them, are on there. Mercury, for instance, is an element. Uranium is an element. It's not Uranus, it's uranium. But, and I'm not sure, I can't think of any others right now. But I think that some of these fallen angels have named themselves and have named like elements and things after themselves. Kind of why I think that is because these metals like lead and mercury are toxic. They lead to death. And that's what God says, that the horse steps lead to death. And I think when he says Babylon as a kingdom, its steps is kind of leading to death too. Like I said, mercury, lead, uranium, different things that can get in your water, and can get in your air and can cause you cancer, and different things that kill a person, are out there. I don't know how many of them there are. There's apparently a bunch of them, but like I said, in the book of Enoch, according to that book, they only go to a judgment, because they make it to Judgment Day apparently, but they only go to a judgment for 1,000 years, for what they've done. But apparently what they've done is pretty bad to go to hell for 1,000 years. That's a long time to be locked up. And you don't know why. You don't know if it's because they didn't want to die, and if they took something similar to the mark of the beast or something like that would prolong their lives, is a possibility. I don't know, because if they're fallen angels, they're demons, they wouldn't die anyway. They wouldn't have had to worry about dying. But then there's people too who do have to worry about dying. And the ones that take the mark of the beast, who knows where they'll be. But it's hard to deceive. They say when they talk about death all the time, when somebody talks about death all the time, they're deceiving you. They hide it in their statements, and their every thought is on death. And that's a lot of these angels' bad sins, is that every thought in their mind, or most of the thoughts in their mind, is war, death, pestilence. They're the famine horse. They're the mercury and lead horses that go to and fro and kill people on the earth. But that's what I think these demons are. I think that some of them are going to get another chance, even though it says they rolled over death in the book of Enoch, which means they didn't die when they were, at least when they were supposed to die. So apparently these demons have done more than it looks like they've done, because apparently demons, once you become a demon, you have to die. But if you're an angel, you don't have to die. So these people became demons, or these angels became demons and challenged God, but they had to die. And they rolled over death. They chose not to die. And that's part of what's going on too. There's so many different parts to this puzzle, it's not even funny. But they're out there, and when you see them, you're supposed to run, because you're running from death. Basically, they're gonna kill you, or it's possible that they're gonna kill you. Their thoughts change to and fro like waves of water. So you don't know what they're thinking at the time, if they want to kill you, if they don't want to kill you. I don't even think they know if they want to kill you or keep you alive. A lot of times, I think they don't know either. But so they do. I think they run all kinds of tests on us, trying to see if they want to kill us or keep us alive. And because it also says in the Bible they'll buy and sell you, but if you do bad, no one will want to buy you. So like, you have to follow Jesus and like steer the correct way and avoid. You're supposed to, from what I can tell, you're supposed to avoid the horsemen, but no one knows what the horsemen look like, and we're stuck here with Mercury and like telescopes and different things like that. Mercury on silver mirrors. I don't know if it's actually on them or not these days. Mercury in barometers, Mercury in lights. There's a lot of lead in granite, and these heavy building materials that they use. There's a lot of lead in lead paint. The radium paint that the ladies used, that time ago, they used radium, and of course it killed them from cancer. So a lot of these diseases that we're finding are different ways to die. And when you see it, like if you see that mercury's in a mine, you're not going to walk up to it and touch it and play with it, because you're going to, if you know it's mercury, because it's this liquidy looking metal, but you're not going to stand around there, and you're probably, when you see it, you're going to try to get out of there, because you don't want around mercury, you don't want around it in the cave that you're in. Of course, you're supposed to be going to the light this whole time too, so you're supposed to be trying to avoid mercury and lead and all these things that can kill people. But we're living in a society where it's basically Egypt or Babylon or whatever you want to call it, to where it's got all these toxins in it. And to get rid of the toxins, though, the kings don't want to do, because it would simplify their kingdom. And I think that they want a complex kingdom, because every good and perfect gift is from above. And if they want complex, maybe they need complex. There's nothing wrong with needing complex stuff. But they're letting their greed and different things get in the way of them handling things appropriately. Of course, like I said, they're going to be judged on Judgment Day. I hope Jesus does it, because none of us really know enough to even come close to doing it. They said that Michael, when he accused the devil, he didn't accuse him because he didn't know how to accuse him. He said, "The Lord rebuke you," though, because he knew that Jesus knew the proper way to rebuke him, basically. But so we couldn't rebuke him, because we don't know. He's always going to say stuff like that. He's going to say, you don't know where, you don't know how people feel, or you don't know what this does. And if you are in a situation like in these days where you don't know what anything does, because you're not a craftsman, you're not which I say craftsman like that, because, craftsman saws and craftsmen, different things that like craftsmen build, or craftsmen, the people who put together buildings. But you're not specialized, or at least I'm not specialized in any of that stuff. So I wouldn't be able to give an accurate answer anyway of why they can't do certain things. But that's how life is going with me. I'm just looking around, and I'm seeing there's a lot of demons and a lot of pathways that lead to death, and I'm trying to avoid them, but there's so much in this society, you really can't avoid them all. You just kind of have to go with the flow and see how you can do trying to avoid what's wrong. Sometimes you can't avoid what's wrong, or sometimes it spares an argument to not avoid what's wrong. But as much as you can, I think you should, because otherwise it's going to kill you, and that's something to run from. It's no joke.